had on camera last round.
Yep.
Upending mono red aggro. Tremoka's command, not surprisingly, quite good there.
The nuts there, yeah. Not going to surprise me one bit, that's for sure. That card is unbelievable against red decks. Let's start off with the Temple of Malady, shall we, in our last round of action. Giambra, we're going to leave the top card on top. For Jessup, he'll play a Temple of Malady as well. And he'll pass the turn back over to Giambra. Temple of Silence, top card to the bottom. Who's going to have the first threat? Looks like it's going to be Jessup. Hangerback Walker, excuse me, just for one.
Management of this card in the mirror match, very interesting to me. Keep it at 2. It's low impact, but immune to Abzan Charm. You go higher than that, it can start doing a lot of damage, but suddenly Abzan Charm becomes a concern.
Yep. Here's a Hangerback Walker for Giambra. Might want to buckle in.
Could be a slow one.
Don't think we're going anywhere for a while. Hangerback Walker is going to be looking at each other, making Thopters, doing their thing. Llanowar waits here for Jessup. He's prepared to activate. So we head back Giambra's way.
Interesting to see Jessup not activate on the main phase there. To me, usually indicates a 3-mana removal spell he wants to have access to in case it should come up.
Just ready.
2 downfalls, 4 Abzan Charms in the main deck. I would expect one of those cards to be in Jessup's hand right now.
So we'll see what's next here for Josh in just a moment. 4 mana now. So there's Sorin. All right. There's a vampire, pass the turn back. Hangerback Walker, gonna grow a little bit bigger here for Andrew.
As you mentioned, slow games.
Oh, yeah. Here come the beatdowns. Looking to get Sorin off the battlefield.
Very attractive attack here for Jessup. Not a whole lot for Giambra to do in terms of blocking. Trade with a vampire and unlock the Hangerback Walker, or let the Sorin die, or chump block with his Hangerback Walker. Additionally, attacking here lets Jessup off the hook of having to decide whether or not to pump up into the range where Abzan Charm can simply exile the Hangerback Walker. So that's a very good attack there from Jessup. And I wonder if Giambra, you know, the Sorin turn there, it wasn't bad, just not that explosive. And that block there also feels low impact. I wonder if Giambra's playing towards Wingmate Rock and just wants to make sure he has enough flying creatures in play to trigger raid.
Well, if you remember from previous Abzan mirrors, it was all about Wingmate Rock.
It's the best card.
Yeah.
And Jessup, I believe, 0 copies in his list. He has Herald Torment, where Giambra has Wingmate Rock. There's some other small differences with the Planeswalker count and so forth, but that's kind of what we're looking at.
Well, here come the beatdowns in the air. Jessup's going to take 3. There's Abzan Charm. That'll take care of Siege Rhino. And pardon me, it'll be more than 3 since Sorin did tick up.
And good management here from Giambra with the Sorin. Now outside of range of any attack Jessup has on the table. Requires some more help to get off.
Getting things covered up.
At this point, it's all about trying to generate as many incremental edges as possible because the game is going to go on for a long time. Giambra does have a trump to play for in his hand here, in his copy of Wingmate Rock. But he still wants to squeeze out as much value out of his cards as he possibly can along the way.
Jessup. Quetzalcoatl is the land. Hangerback Walker looks like he wants to attack again, so to Soren it's going to go. Down to 1. Maybe it's another Siege Rhino on the way. Yep. So trigger. Jessup up to 20. Giambra down to 18. Pass the turn back. Giambra will draw. And now it's time to attack for 3 in the air again. Wingmate Rock. That's the big one.
No, the earlier plays here from Giambra would suggest that this was the card he was building towards. So I'm not surprised to see it in his hand and now in play.
Jessup will draw. Picked up another copy of Siege Rhino, it looks like. People claim they come in packs. Hard to argue.
But it's not bad to have the Siege Rhinos, but this is not what the game's about right now. Jessup needs to find some action in the air or some removal spells because Giambra here, especially now with Wingmate Rock gaining life, a Soren that requires an attack from somewhere, Giambra's going to win this race pretty easily, even if Jessup is just chaining together a bunch of Siege Rhinos.
Three mana, looks like Abzan Charm. That'll take care of the real Wingmate Rock. Here come the beatdowns. Looks like an effort to get Soren off the battlefield. More importantly, if you're Josh, there's a fine block here, but not a great one.
Well, Josh can go ahead and put the Wingmate Rock token in front of the Hangerback Walker if he's looking to just get it off the table. But I think with Giambra having an advantage in the air right now, he doesn't really want to break open the Hangerback Walker. Wants Jessup to have to kill his own Hangerback Walker to get the tokens.
There's a Temple. Top card to the bottom. And a Siege Rhino. Giambra looks to be pretty far ahead in this game. At least at this stage of it.
Well, he has the best card in Wingmate Rock. And that card has, forced Jessup to use 3 mana, killing the original token. Has left Giambra with a 3/4 flyer.
Jessup has all these Siege Rhinos, but the mirror isn't always about Siege Rhino.
It's certainly one of the better cards. But, flyers and planeswalkers can make Siege Rhino look low in power. So Jessup needs to find some way to get some action going on in the air, and even if he's able to sacrifice his own Hangerback Walker for value and get some Thopters, well, then he has a bunch of 1/1s against a 2/2 and a 3/4. There's no guarantee that the Hangerback Walker is able to stabilize the air from here. So troubles abound here for Jessup.
Yeah, for sure. He's taking a pretty slow turn here as well because he's got to figure out a way to get out of this.
Yeah, and another problem now is just, can he get into a spot where he's playing 2 spells a turn?
Yeah.
A lot of these exchanges have just been, Josh spends his entire turn, he gets in some damage, gets 2 threats, Jessup spends his turn killing a threat. Do that over and over again, and you die. So there's got to be 2 spells in 1 turn from Jessup sometime soon.
He's going to start by attacking for 2. Giambra, no interest in blocking. Going to go down to 19. Maybe we're going to work our way into Den Protector land? Yeah, okay. It's not pass the turn back over to Giambra. Giambra over there with a 3/4 flyer from Wingmate Rock. 2/2 Vampire. 1/1 flyer. Looks like Jeff's going to fall down too. Might be a Siege Runner just to close it out, make it real easy. Yeah. That's going to do it. So Josh Giambra is going to win game number 1 here over Danny Jessup. The Obs on aggro mirror thus far belongs to the player on the left, which means we'll take a look at the sideboards here for each player. We'll start with Andrew Jessup and his 2 Duresses, 2 Gather Courage, his ultimate price, 2 Self-Inflicted Wound, 2 Glare of Heresy, 2 Tragic Arrogance, 2 Wingmate Rock, so he does have access to some, and the 2 Elspeth Sun's Champion.
Great sideboard here. The 2 Wingmate Rocks and the 2 Elspeths, those are very easy to bring in, and I think that you can see the Self-Inflicted Wounds and the Glare of Heresies coming as well.
Some pretty straightforward options for the Obs on mirror.
Yeah, really solid sideboard.
What do we see here for Josh Giambra?
2 copies of Thoughtseize, 2 copies of Duress, 3 Herald of Torment, 2 Tragic Arrogance, 2 Self-Inflicted Wound, 2 Glare of Heresy, 2 Ultimate Price. Josh did a lot of his work here game 1. Wants to have Self-Inflicted Wound, wants to have Glare of Heresy. Those are likely to come in. And he may want to bring in some of his discard spells here because as you notice, a card that he doesn't have in his list here is Elspeth Sun's Champion. Very good in the mirror match. And he may have to attack it via discard because he doesn't have his own copies to play.
Well, as these players shuffle up for more Obs on fun, we will talk about Alian Trazi and his Season 2 Invitational win because, unfortunately, for you guys at home, there's not a lot of time left to get this new token.
Yeah, you still have some opportunities to get it a couple different ways. People who sign up for any of the 2-day $20,000 Open Series events. Also, anyone who signs up for a 5K Premier IQ, both the ones we run here Sundays at our Open Series events and the ones that you can bring to your local store. And any order from StarCityGames.com, $5 or more. Remember that we're going to be switching tokens come October the 2nd, noon Eastern. So if you want to get your Alian Trazi Angel token, you are running out of time. Place an order at StarCityGames.com today.
The champ. The defending champ. Well, not anymore, I suppose. Defending Season 2 champ. Let's say that.
Defending modern champion.
We'll also say that.
Yeah.
With Green Red Tron, which I, of course, approve of for Alian Trazi. We're going to see with the Players' Championship. We know that. With what? Who knows?
And later on, some of you may run into a little Red-Green Tron on Magic Online because we are going to be back dealing on people. Best time to run if you're interested in trying to run into the 2 of us. It's Saturday and Sunday night after the events.
Yes. Yes.
So we got the itch.
Especially Saturday.
We got the itch for cards and gut shots in equal measure.
I'm on one computer casting 7 mana spells. You're on the other computer casting 0 mana spells.
1 mana spells for 0 mana and 2 life.
That's correct. And no, we won't play against each other in the same queue.
No.
Have a little respect for the game.
Right. If I wanted to do that, we could just fire up the stream.
Or I'll just challenge you.
We just challenge.
Yeah. Nothing on the line. What's even the point?
Cell Dweller has challenged Big Dan Teague.
That's right. Let's go.
Throw down.
Yeah, let's do this. I don't mind.
Yeah, neither do I.
A sheer delight.
Gut shot, not very good against Tron, but not every card's going to be good in every matchup.
Yeah, you could put a damage on a Worm Coil Engine if you want.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you how to play your cards.
Knock Karn down a little bit.
He's a real jerk. Knock him down a peg.
Just give him a little taste.
That's perfectly fine. But you won't catch either of us playing Obs on aggro online.
No. I will delve into Standard once the new set comes out.
Me too. Me too. Look, if I were playing competitive Magic, not here in the booth, I imagine I would be casting Siege Rhino a lot. I like red for what it's worth and everything, but I think that Siege Rhino is it's a good place to be.
I think that I'd be playing with Manus Riders and Dig Through Times.
Okay. Every time I do watch Jessica, I am pretty impressed.
Got a lot of play to it.
Yeah.
Can win short games, can win long games.
I grew up in Ohio, man. The monsters of the mid-range. Mm-hmm. So flipping Den Protectors and casting Thoughtseize and stuff, that's how I was born and raised playing Magic. If you weren't playing the Rock, you were doing something wrong.
Troll aesthetic and equipment. Where was that invented?
Let's go.
The Ohio Valley.
Yeah, let's go. That's how we do it. Here's a Fleecemane Lion. To Giambra will go.
I can't even imagine what the reaction was in Columbus, Ohio, the day that Thrun got spoiled.
Little past me, but yeah. No reason not to play 4. Siege Rhino the draw here for Jessup. If you want to talk about the staple of Ohio Magic, Ravenous Baloth.
Oh, yeah.
Sums it up.
Contested Cliffs.
Yeah, sums it up real nice. Here's a Temple.
Spirit Monger.
Yeah, also a delight. Vampiric Tutor for Living Wish for Spirit Monger. Your turn.
Slow mode.
Yeah.
So that was a very important test that Giambra just passed there. Because if Jessup follows up with a play on 3, then Giambra is playing a spell a turn, trying to catch up while Jessup is hitting. That's one of the easiest ways to lose in the Obzon aggro mirror match. Someone goes 2-drop, 3-drop, you do nothing on 2 on the draw, and you're playing catch up the whole way.
That game's basically over then. I don't want to call it over, but it's very hard to catch up then. Fleece Main Line coming on in. What's next here for Andrew Jessup? We know he's got a Sandstorm Citadel. There's also a Siege Rhino over there. Is there a land that enters the battlefield untapped?
And is there a way for him to measure out his threats in this way so the Siege Rhino is more likely to stay alive? It's hard to do. The removal and the threats are pretty interchangeable. Oh. So a lot of times it's just about mana efficiency.
Well, there is Siege Rhino. Good aggressive start here for Andrew Jessup. Giambra going to sacrifice that Windswept Teeth. Searching up a Plains. Obzon Charm, perhaps. Hero's Downfall. It all works the same.
Downfall a little bit better for Jessup now. It's something in the graveyard to get back with Temp Protector, but it's all the same.
Just get the Rhino off the battlefield. Temple here from Giambra. We'll see where that top card goes. Looks like it'll go to the bottom. Hero's Downfall, take care of Fleece Main Line. All right. Looks like Giambra's done a nice job of catching up here.
Still on the back foot insofar as Jessup gets to go first here. But now, Jessup needs to be producing threat cards for the next couple turns. Because you don't want Josh to be able to seize the initiative, which you can by playing a creature on an empty board himself.
All Jessup can do is pass the turn back. So, back over to Giambra. Sorn on an empty board, not a horrible spot to be. Make a vampire, pass the turn back.
Like this play from Giambra, he knows whatever he plays is likely to die. Might as well get something that generates a little value on the way out.
Now Jessup has to kill 2 things. Jessup does have a Hero's Downfall in hand. Doesn't seem thrilled to have to cast it on this Sorin. But he will.
Downfalls are very precious, and you know it's on something that doesn't have a lot of loyalty left over, but Jessup just can't afford to pass the turn doing nothing.
Urborg. And what's next? Maybe Den Protector? All right. There's a morph.
Could be anything.
It really could be. Giambra with a lot of cards in hand. And unfortunately for Andrew Jessup, one of them is Wingmate Rock again.
Yeah, now if Giambra has land number 5 untapped here, he pulls really far ahead. In spite of Den Protector, getting back Siege Rhino removal spell, it's just so good. But I don't think he has land number 5.
Looks like it's Fleece Main Lion ×2 instead. So if you're Jessup, you're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse.
Time to unmorph. There's Den Protector. What are we going to get back?
I think I like getting back Siege Rhino here unless Jessup has very specific mana needs in this spot. I think that Downfall and Siege Rhino are comparable in power level. They're likely to trade 1-for-1 here, but with Giambra at 10, the trigger from Siege Rhino is much more valuable than the 1 mana discount he's getting on taking Hero's Downfall. Giambra's got a lot of cards in his hand. He missed a land drop, so his hand's all spells. Jessup has to stay on the front foot here.
What next here for Andrew? A lot of options, a lot to be scared of, because again, you know your opponent has all spells in hand. You have the lead as far as light totals are concerned, but things are definitely swinging back Giambra's way.
Yeah, you're scared to death of land number 5 right now.
Maybe Glare of Heresy about to be cast. Maybe not.
I think Jessup might be going for 2 removal spells this turn in lieu of playing the Siege Rhino. I think the thinking here is the Siege Rhino is always worth the points of damage it's worth. This might be the only opportunity he gets to make an attack here with Den Protector.
There's Glare of Heresy. And now here's an attack. Giambra draws very quickly, looking for that 5th land. Here's an attack for 2. He has it.
Yeah, that was the risk of the line of play there that Jessup took. Is it is much worse against land plus Wingmate Rock. He could have killed one of the Fleecemane lines, probably traded the other, and had a Rhino in play. Now, he's down 2 removal spells against Wingmate Rock. The Wingmate Rock checks the Den Protector.
And now this got really hard.
And now it's going, well, the upshot is as long as he has something, if he draws a removal spell and can kill the Wingmate Rock, then the Siege Rhino trigger is worth 3, and it's not that hard for him to get the last 3 points of damage. But this was the risk of with the line that Jessup took. It was much worse against Wingmate Rock, and now it's here.
Looks like it's time for a Siege Rhino. And it is. 3-20 in favor of Jessup. All Jessup can do is pass the turn back. So Giambra will draw. Giambra again, the one with all the cards in hand. He's attacking. Trigger Wingmate Rock. Gonna gain some life. Gonna deal a bunch of damage in the air. And Jessup down to 12. Giambra up to 6, I believe. Well, let's make a little bit more now. And just like that, it's 9-9. That didn't take long.
But Giambra only with 8 points in the air, so Jessup not necessarily doomed.
It's not all doom and gloom.
He's in a bad spot, no doubt about it.
He does have Wingmate Rock in hand, but he just wasn't first to market with Wingmate Rock.
And now the problem is he has to offer up some attack where either the Den Protector dies or he's just running Siege Rhino into Siege Rhino, not doing anything. So he does get to raid the Wingmate Rock, but
There's the block.
it's definitely not as exciting as Giambra's.
No, not at all. Here comes Andrew's Wingmate Rock. It'll be joined by a token, of course. 2, 3, 4 flyers, pass the turn back. Giambra very quickly untapping.
Well, if he has even something like a removal spell for Siege Rhino, it starts getting really tough for Jessup to stay in the game.
It's like Anafenza in hand. Unclear the rest of the contents here for Josh right now.
And if Giambra suspects that Jessup's hand is just nothing, which last turn's attack sort of represents, if you had Draboka's command, he could have done something a lot more aggressive, then this Abzan Charm is so good just distributing counters. Giambra can now suddenly use that mode to very good effect.
Well, here's an attack with everything. Giambra's going to go up to 13 from the Wingmate Rock trigger. And if you're Jessup, I think in this situation, you can't really even play around anything, which is an unfortunate thing to say.
Against an opponent who's been missing land drops and has 4 spells in their hand, it's tough.
You have to hope for the best, even though hoping is not a great strategy. Maybe he doesn't have it being anything.
Just anything at all.
Yep. Your hand's all discard spells, right?
There's really no bad mode on Abzan Charm right now.
Not right now, no.
It just depends. If Giambra thinks that Jessup is basically out, then the counters thing is the most powerful thing to do, putting one on the Rock and one on the Siege Rhino.
That's what we'll see. 3 damage will come across. Giambra will lose his Vampire token, but Abzan Charm was a real backbreaker there, and he's got another one in his hand.
So the draws here for Jessup, I think, are he's looking at Tragic Arrogance or Elspeth.
Okay.
Give him another turn, but it's got to be one of those 2 cards.
Abzan Charm was the draw. Not sure how much that one helps.
I mean, he might have to Abzan Charm for Tragic Arrogance. He may have to draw cards here. I mean, a single removal spell is just so unlikely to win from this spot where it's not clear it beats the board, and Giambra's still got a bunch of spells in his hand.
There's a Windswept Heath. Jessup will pass the turn back. Giambra untapping very quickly, ready to draw. Looks like in the draw step going to kill Wingmate Rock. Here are the attacks. Siege Rhino going to come through, and a Siege Rhino is going to finish it up. Josh Giambra is going to win this match here over Andrew Jessup, 2-0. The Abzan Aggro mirror goes to Josh, and he's our lone 9-0 here in Worcester.
Congratulations to Josh, and to me, the turning point of that game was really the turn he played Sorin and minused it. There was a spot there where the players were basically trading off removal spells and creatures. Jessup passed with no proactive play in a spot where he would have liked to kept up the pressure, representing any number of removal spells. Giambra plays Sorin and minuses it. That is enough to get a removal spell out of Jessup. That Vampire turns down the line, triggers the raid on Wingmate Rock, and that little accumulation of value in that spot was the advantage that Giambra needed.
Wingmate Rock